Boom, check it out, man. Metro's here, and today we're showing you guys something really, really interesting, all right? Now, they've been talking a lot ever since, the whole flying thing, discussed that it's not going to be part of especially the beginning of WoD, perhaps all of WoD. I wanted to take a look at exactly how travel was going to be affected, because in my eyes, that's the only real reason why not having flying could be a bad thing, if it makes travel considerably longer. So in this video, I've collected what I believe to be the most important travel points for somebody who's raiding. Obviously, there's a lot of different interests in the game, but this is what the video's on. So if you guys are strongly adamant about, maybe seeing something to world bosses or challenge modes, let me know. I'll probably make a video on it as well. But for now, let's talk about a few things. Obviously, the video is going to be sped up, all right? I don't want to make a 20-minute video of all these clips. So the timer in the middle of the screen is law, okay? It's the Blizzard timer, unadulterated. I pressed start and I pressed pause. That's it. There's no hidden tricks, okay? Very simple. We're examining, first of all, flight paths and then non-flight path usage in MoP. The description is going to have all the times and the specific clips and the time they appear in the video as well. But understand that travel is very different now. All right, so I try to preface it with two examples. One of them is the portal to Highmaul, which you can get from your garrison. All right, and the other one is taking a flight path and running on a mount to Heart of Fear. Those two should really help preface things. It makes you realize just how different travel actually is. In WoD, there's going to be base travel on flying paths, but there's going to be the Spirit Lodge and a lot of different portals to get you around the world, which is a big deal. All right, I don't want to hear anything about being forced to take a building in the garrison. You're not being forced. If you want it to be fast, you'll take it. That's it. That's your opinion. You take it. No big deal. All right. Also, why am I starting at my garrison? People are going to ask. Because Ashran is the city is no longer where you start this game. Your garrison is the hub for you, okay? And I'll explain to you why. The main reason to be in the city is to go to the other cities or back to the old world or maybe actually do Ashran, right? We're not talking about that. We're talking about where you're going to be when you start, you log on and you get to raid. That's going to be your garrison. You have a separate Hearthstone there. So even if you're in Ashran, you can simply Hearth there and then start the timer as I did. And also another reason, people talk about why be in a city for trade chat. You don't need trade chat anymore. All right, unless you're actually trying to trade something, you don't need to find groups in trade chat anymore. Use the pre-made group enabler. I made videos on this. Just do it. All right, you don't need, the city is not important. I won't hear that argument. All right, this is a flight from the Horde garrison. Unfortunately, don't have time or interest to do the Alliance one. It's probably going to be a bit longer since it's on a different zone. But either way. And then ultimately realized that I wanted to do a one-to-one comparison, but MoP's not actually accessible without flying. I didn't realize this until I started looking, but you cannot actually get to Mogushan vaults without flying. You would need a summon. If for some reason you didn't have flying, you would need a summon. And then one other thing to preface, final thing, is when I am on WoD, I'm obviously walking on the ground. They took out the movement speed from both the guild and the paladin perk, okay? But in MoP, I still have it. So 310 flying plus guild perk plus paladin. So that's obviously something to take into consideration, but I feel it's a fair representation because it is actually MoP. I was going to do it on WoD where those things would have been taken out, but let's compare MoP to WoD, not WoD to just somewhere else in WoD. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, follow along in the description. Shows the exact math and all you need to know for the rest of this video. All right, so that's it. You've seen it now. All the math's in the description, but just some quick conclusions to make, okay? First things first, time on flight paths is a dominating factor, all right? So, for example, flying to Foundry, you spend 2 minutes, 13 seconds on a flight path and only 1 minute riding there. That's too long. That's what they need to address. If flying is going to be not a thing, they need to make flight paths much faster. I would be satisfied with half the time that we see. Highmaul Flight path was 1 minute 22 seconds, and the ride was only 1 minute 19. So even that, despite that being right next to my garrison, was still longer than actually riding from the flight path to the zone. Conversely, you see how little time it actually takes to get to these raids with the portal. There's a portal next to Black Rock as well. So less than 30 seconds to get to these raids when you have this building. So is it an issue? I don't know. As of right now, I don't really care because I know I'm going to get the portals and I know there's going to be a lot of other ways to travel around the world. But if there was to be one conclusion, it would not be that I require flight. It would be that I require the flight paths to make a better ride. Like, they need to be faster. Long story short. So what do you guys think? Do you have any opinions? How about your conclusions? Does this prove that you hate this idea? Does this prove that maybe this isn't that big of a difference? Or maybe you're saying, who even cares? Travel is not why I don't want flying. I really want to have a discussion about this, so let me know in the comments.